Hello, everyone. I'm the Worm. This is 999. We're let's recap. Last time and the time before that, excuse me, we went through two different puzzle rooms. I'm not sure. Do those sorts of scenes have a name? Uh, puzzle room is what comes to mind. Escape room. Like what is the what do the fans call those sorts of things? But in any case, we went through the steam engine room, and then we just went through the cargo room. And in the last one, I had a bit, I had some difficulty just because some simple math. At first I didn't realize what I was trying to get the answer to, but I got through it eventually, and it didn't take me a long time. Thinking back before I ever started this game, it was that sort of thing that I was worried about, those kinds of puzzles, where I just had this, nightmare scenario where it's like, oh man, it takes me an hour to get through something, and luckily that hasn't happened yet. And then the worst one was the cargo room just now. But again, it didn't take me an hour. I was able to get through it. And then we were able to open up a coffin, and within the coffin was not a corpse. Rather, it was a gun and a key, and I think it was a mistake, but we decided to leave the gun behind, and it was kind of a unanimous decision. So, yeah. But in any case, Junpei, June, Santa, and Ace are now heading onwards, and we haven't seen the other group for quite some time, and it makes sense since we're like two or three floors down, or decks, I should say, two or three decks below where they are. So I don't know when or where we are going to meet up with them again. Um, Ace has been. We had a little conversation. There was a box where we had to put in these cards that had the faces of us nine on it. And Junpei said, "Oh, well, obviously we just have to match the cards with the number on the box." And then he had a weird reaction to it. And this has been happening several times. At least I think so. One of the other times was quite some time back. I think it was before Snake disappeared. We had a conversation with Ace. Or maybe it was just after he disappeared. I'm not sure. But we were talking with Ace, and Junpei said something like, it's hard to tell those two are siblings. And Ace kind of just looked at us like he had no idea what we were talking about. And he said, yeah, they're siblings. And Ace said, oh, I guess they are. And Ace has had these like weird reactions that I don't understand. But the fact that they keep happening makes me feel somewhat suspicious, Then there was the whole deal of him wanting to be left behind, which could have been out of, you know, uh, generosity or altruism, selflessness, but I just don't know. Basically, what I'm saying is Ace is suspicious to me. So, yeah. But I don't have anything solid. He's the one that brought up that Zero might essentially be one of us, I think. Or his arguments led to that discussion. But I don't know. I don't know enough about the situation. I don't know enough about Zero to... I'll say this. If he is Zero or something, it'll at least... There's something wrong with him. Or something's going on with him. Not wrong with him, but there's something going on with him that I could believe it, I guess, if you told me he was Zero or is somehow related to Zero or something. I don't know. We still haven't gotten the backgrounds of everyone yet. In the steam engine room, we learned that Santa has a sister, or had, depending on how you interpret that conversation. But Okay, let's stop rambling. Let's move on. The hallway that left the cargo room headed straight toward the stern.
A long hallway, huh?
Am I recording? Looks like it.
Let's check it out.
Junpei and the other three proceeded down it silently. Some distance along it, a large room opened up on the left-hand side. It looked familiar. Ah, the other side. An iron grate covered each of the elevators. Junpei and his companions drew to a stop and began to discuss what their next move should be.
We've seen this elevator before.
We got off the one on the left just a little while ago.
Then we went through the number 6 door, and that took us to the engine room.
Yes, and after that we passed through the cargo room.
All that time, and it feels like we've covered so little distance.
And now we're back here.
In other words, we made a loop. We're back where we started.
But where does this elevator go? That's the question. Junpei approached the elevator.
We needed a card to get to this point.
I don't see a card reader here.
Perhaps we aren't able to activate it from this location.
Why don't you just try pushing the button?
Yeah.
Gently, he pushed the triangular button on the wall. A moment passed. Son of a gun.
It works.
The elevator door opened and then eventually shut again.
I think so.
Pushing the button had apparently restored power to the elevator.
Good. Now we can go back if we need to.
Yeah, but does it go back to the same floor?
What do? Should we return to C deck?
No, this hallway keeps going. Even if we do end up going back, I think we should see what's down there first.
I agree. Let's go.
Sure, yeah. Fair enough. Their decision made, Junpei and his companions left the elevators behind and continued down the hallway. Some time later,
Looks like it ends here.
Santa, who had been walking several paces in front of the rest, suddenly stopped.
Only one door.
They searched around just in case.
There isn't anything else. It's the only way to go.
It was the door or nothing.
All right, let's open it.
Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, then grabbed the doorknob and pulled the door open. He paused for a moment, then stepped through into the room, and there he saw the number that had hung over their heads since they'd woken up. 9. What is this sort of room? We have, what would these be? Benches?
The 9 door.
Like the numbers on every other door, this one, too, was a rough shape made of red paint. Its door was set into the back wall of the room. Junpei leapt toward it with a sudden burst of hopeful energy. It was a large double door, heavy and full of solemn importance. He grabbed at the door handle and shook.
Of course it wouldn't be that easy.
Look on the side here, bud. The red sat on the wall next to the door. Displayed on it,
Vacant. Huh. We finally found it.
Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torment of emotion. At last, they found the exit. Not necessarily. I remember the rules. And the rules said to find the exit, and it said to find door 9. It didn't technically say that 9 was the exit. But I do think it's fair. It's a fair association to make between the two. But I wouldn't just immediately think 9 is it. There's something that could be beyond this door, another escape room or something that we'd probably have to deal with. At last they found the exit, but cold gripped his heart, and he knew all too well why. As he stood, frozen, unsure of what to think or feel,
Jumpy!
Huh?
Look! Behind you!
he spun around and couldn't believe what he saw.
What? A 9 door. there's another one.
Okay. And a coffin here. 2 door 9s. This is unexpected.
Why?
Junpei's voice was barely audible even to himself. He stumbled toward the second door as if somehow compelled. Another red. It was a small single door. It sat in the starboard corner of the room, on the same wall as the door they'd enter from, but in the opposite corner.
It's 9, no matter how you look at it. The red is there too. So this is a real one?
Junpei shook the door handle pointlessly and muttered to himself.
Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Santa who answered.
There were always 2 doors. I mean, if you think about it.
Oh, you mean like how it was 4 and 5, then 3, 7 and 8?
Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
Oh, you mean in the rules? Like it said something like find a door with 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found.
Yes, seek a door that carries a 9.
Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
How come Santa can remember this kind of stuff? But do you remember a few episodes ago when we had the key card and the key, and we were going back to the grand staircase, and he was saying stuff like, "Oh, why are we coming back here?" Like how is he able to remember what's on the directions here? But he forgot that we had the key card. Whatever. Not that important.
Of course, we just assumed that there was only one. After all, why would there be more than one?
Oh, man. We fell for it. There are 2 doors. That means that all 9 people who had met at the central staircase could escape. No one would be left behind.
3 to 5 people per door, yeah.
Now it makes sense why the bracelets are numbers. 1 through 9. Divided into teams of 4 and 5 people.
Wow.
The digital root of both teams ends up being 9. Take 1, 2, 7, 8 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 for example. The digital root for both teams would be 9. Or 2, 3, 4, 9 and 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. The digital root is still 9. There are a bunch of combinations that work and they all end up the same way. If one team has the digital root of 9, so would the other one. What does that mean?
Interesting. And at least in this instance, I don't think there was a way for us to do that. What I mean is, like, the 9th guy went crazy before we ever had any choices, you know? So, from the outset, we got kinda... Well, the story's just gone this way. But yeah,
The answer's simple. From the very beginning, the Nonary game was designed to save all 9 people. That's how it was meant to be. Zero didn't lie. He never said there'd be only one 9 door, but anyone who'd found themselves in the game would have assumed that was the case. Fights would have broken out. One team would likely betray or deceive the other. Someone might be hurt. Someone might get killed. But eventually, they'd reach this very same room and realize how pointless all their infighting was.
wow.
There were 2 doors. There was no need to kill each other.
They'd understand and be appalled, overwhelmed with guilt at what they'd done.
This game was designed for that purpose.
What a cruel thing to do. Why? Why do this?
This Nonary game. We were all arguing and fighting over doors at the beginning. But if there had been one slip-up, one tiny mistake that led to more, everything could have been so much worse now.
Thought of it sent a chill down his spine.
So, what are we going to do, Junpei?
A voice spoke through Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice.
Oh, right.
Hey, keep it together, man.
Sorry.
Jeez. So what do we do?
What do you...
We need to think about our next step.
Our numbers are 1, 3, 5, and 6. That's a digital root of 6.
The 4 of us can't open the number 9 door.
The 4. Wait. Don't tell me.
Yep. There's one combination that'll let 3 of us open the 9 door.
We should find the other group.
That's why I'm asking, what now?
What now?
It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There was only one combination of 3 people that would give a digital root of 9. 1 plus 3 plus 5. That would mean June gets left behind.
No, we gotta go back.
That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed.
Yep.
I agree. We cannot leave June behind.
Junpei let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding.
Are you sure? I don't mind staying.
June's body betrayed her true feelings. The thing is, we don't really understand what's going to happen after we find an exit. Remember Ace, when he offered to leave himself behind, he gave out this idea, hey, once you finish this thing, you'll come back for me, right? Or you should come back for me. And we don't know if that's possible. We don't know what's going to happen after we get through these 9 doors. So I could definitely understand not wanting to take that chance and leaving her. Her eyes were wet with the beginnings of tears, and her legs shook.
It's okay. There's no way we'd leave you behind.
Santa had said what Junpei had known the moment he realized which 3 people could go through the door.
Besides, I'd rather drown at the bottom of the ocean than escape with this sausage fest. Maybe I'll get to go to Atlanta.
Are you sure you don't mean Atlantis?
Huh? Oh, right.
Perhaps it was the sudden reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind, but Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. Santa and Ace smiled.
You guys.
Well, that definitely does feel good. Having Santa and Ace both immediately say, yeah, we're not leaving her behind, that definitely feels good. June blinked tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to say.
Very well. Best we head back to C-Deck then. We should be able to take the elevator we passed earlier. Perhaps Clover, Seven, and Lotus will have returned from door 1.
And I'm curious what they would have found there. Even as Ace spoke, they knew finding the others wouldn't improve the situation.
Even with all 7 of us.
Ace knew it. They all knew it.
Standing around here isn't going to accomplish anything, don't you agree?
Yeah, the math's not going to add up very well here, is it?
Let's find the other 3 first, and then search for another solution.
I guess you're right.
What's our time limit?
All right,
How much
let's
do we have
go.
left? Ace looked at all 3 of them, then turned and headed through the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Santa and June followed. Junpei started toward the door, then stopped.
Come to think of it,
Should we not investigate that coffin?
what is this room?
Yeah, it's a bit weird, huh? It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly was it?
We were so focused on the doors, we didn't even look around.
A red carpet ran between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room.
It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony. But
Yes.
what kind?
Why don't you investigate the coffin and the book on the table to the right of the coffin? Facing the 9 door was the carpet leading toward the bow of the ship. And at the end... Oh my goodness. Was it an altar, perhaps? There was a small rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform. What is this? Oh, wait. We've seen this symbol before. I've seen this symbol before. This was on 0. Do you remember in the flashback? In the when Junpei was knocked out in his room. Zero had this. I think I pointed it out. This symbol was on 0. And I'm not sure I've seen this one. It's not the, what was it, Mercury or something? No. I don't want to Google it or look it up just in case there's spoilers or something.
A coffin.
But this was, I've definitely seen this, and I'm pretty sure it was on Zero.
What on earth is a coffin doing in a place like this?
But before Junpei had time to answer that question.
Hey, Junpei, the hell are you doing? Let's move.
Dang it. There have been several moments throughout this playthrough where it's like, we moved on from Snake's death before really investigating it. Then we moved on from the gun without taking it. And now we're moving on from this without investigating. It feels like... I'm pretty sure this game has multiple endings or something. At least that's kind of what I've seen from that flow menu. And this sort of feels like a bad ending to me. Just from the fact that we seem to be ignoring things that I feel we shouldn't be. Maybe once we regroup, we'll be able to, because there's like a book here too. We really should look at this, guys. Okay. Santa's voice echoed in from the Santa's voice echoed in from the hall outside.
Right, okay. I'll be right there.
Junpei turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room. What? What in the world? Someone was knock. What? Hold on. Was someone just knocking from inside the coffin? Why weren't they doing it while we were there? What? What? Okay, I just have to keep going. They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed back toward the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them long.
Look, it's...
Seven and Lotus.
They didn't look happy.
We've got a problem.
Whoa. Where's Clover?
Clover is gone.
What?
What?
Uh-oh. She's not locked in a coffin, is she? Junpei and his three companions looked at one another. He turned back to Seven and Lotus.
What do you mean, gone?
Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask.
When?
Why?
You two went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you?
Seven and Lotus responded as best they could.
Yeah, we went through the door together.
But Clover barely spoke to us.
She just did her own thing the whole time.
Ah, crap.
There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1.
She wouldn't let us into the 4th room.
She just said, I'll take care of this one.
And shut the door.
She must have blocked it with something on the other side.
We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out.
We called for her, but she didn't answer.
So I kicked down the door and we went into the room.
But
It was empty.
Clover wasn't there.
So what, did she slip out while you guys weren't looking, or is there like a secret passage or something?
There was a door on the other wall.
And it was open.
We figure she opened the door and left by herself.
We ran after her, of course, but
Obviously we didn't find her. We figured that much out.
Clover's gone.
What was beyond the door? What was there? Junpei thought for a moment.
When did this happen?
We got here just before you.
You certainly have excellent timing.
So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase?
No, we haven't.
Finally, Ace spoke. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern.
Very well then. We'd best separate and look for Clover.
Oh no. We should probably stick in pairs at least.
We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
Yeah.
There were quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players... Ugh. At least stay in pairs, please. No. Junpei and June ran into the central hospital room and looked around.
She's not here.
No, she isn't.
I have a feeling I know where she might be. They searched a little longer, but with no luck. They couldn't find Clover.
There's no sign of her. Let's go.
Finally, they gave up and left the central hospital room. Slowly, they made their way back to the hallway. At last, they reached the stairs, and Junpei spoke.
All right. I'm thinking we should probably split up. I'll head back to the stairs and take the elevator down to E deck. June, you can take the stairs up to B deck.
All right, that sounds good. But,
What?
could you stop calling me by that code name when we're alone?
June. Okay, Junpei, say okay, but now's really not the time. We gotta get moving.
Huh? Oh, sure, right. I'll do that.
Really not the time. We really just need to be looking for Clover right now, guys. There was a reason Junpei persisted in calling her June even though they were alone. Although perhaps not the best reason. He was embarrassed to call her by the nickname he'd used when they were children. Canny? Canny? Canny. Are we really doing this now? We're really gonna go on a trip down memory lane? Right in the middle of it? Okay. Fine. 9 years ago, it came naturally. After all, they were children. But now that they were adults, it felt strange. Regardless of what he might hope for, to call a woman he wasn't dating by such a childish nickname felt odd to him. Of course, to call her Ms. Kurashiki would be even more awkward, and simply Kurashiki would seem a little brusque. And although he couldn't put his finger on why, it felt somewhat forward to call her Akane, when they hadn't seen each other for so long. In short, it was simply easier for him to call her June and leave it at that.
Jumpy.
Oh, no, it's nothing.
All right, I'm going then.
Yeah, be careful, Connie.
Connie? June, or perhaps more appropriately Connie, blushed and smiled. Listen to this music.
You be careful too, Jumpy.
Even changed the name.
Yeah, got it. Take care.
Connie and Jumpy. Junpei looked after her a moment as she ran up the stairs, then turned around and took off for the hallway. Check the room again, Junpei. Check the room again. The 9 room. Oh no. Tragedy always strikes when one least expects it. But to wait for a man to stand before striking him down seems almost crueler than dealing the fatal blow while he lies on the ground. A light in a dark place. June's smile had given him hope, both for escape and possibly for something else. It was that hope that had raised his spirits just enough that they might soon be fully dashed. He opened the elevator door, and there she was. A woman sat slouched against the wall. Lotus. Junpei felt his blood turn to ice. Her body was limp, and her skin smooth and pale as always. Son of a gun. It was covered in bright red blood. Junpei felt his chest constrict. He couldn't breathe, and his legs began to shake. A slow, cold drop of sweat trickled down his back. He felt his stomach somersault. Junpei's mind went blank. All his thoughts replaced with endless, hissing white. Driven by little more than instinct, he began to walk toward Lotus, slowly. Each slow movement of his stiff limbs brought him closer to her corpse. Finally, he stood next to her. Robotically, he bent down and put his hand against her neck. There was no pulse, no rise and fall of breathing. She was slightly warm. Something, somewhere in Junpei's shaken mind, told him that meant she had been killed recently. Yes, Junpei thought, his mind slowly returning. She had been killed. Someone had killed her. There was a deep cut on the left side of her chest. Blood still oozed from it, although clearly her heart had stopped beating some time ago. The weapon had been a knife then. Perhaps she had been stabbed in the heart once. She would have died immediately. He took little comfort from knowing she must have suffered very little. Only then did Junpei notice Lotus's bracelet was gone.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only two ways to do so. One, you escape from this ship. Two, your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confine of the ship, or the backside of the mirror's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
Was that why the... Why take the bracelet? I was under the assumption that the bracelet no longer works, because 0 said deactivated. But is that not the case? Does the bracelet continue to work? That would be crazy if that's the case. That's what this is implying, and that's crazy. So that they might have the number 8 bracelet. If that was true, then the killer was whoever wanted the number 8 bracelet. Or perhaps even more accurately, the person who would gain the most by obtaining the bracelet number 8. Who was that? Who would benefit the most from the number 8 bracelet? I thought it only just entered Junpei's mind when he heard a noise. It sounded like a sharp knife cutting through wet meat. What am I thinking of here? No. It struck him as strange that the noise came from inside his own body. A moment later, the pain hit him. It wasn't merely pain, there was heat, extreme heat as well. He felt as though molten iron had been splashed against the side of his body. Finally, his brain made the connection. He had been stabbed. But where? His body was quickly going numb. He couldn't tell where the knife had met his flesh. Given the circumstances, however, he had most likely been stabbed in the back. Whoever had killed Lotus had now done the same to Junpei as well. His voice was little more than a weak groan. With what little strength he had left, Junpei had turned his body, trying to catch a glimpse of his attacker. But as he did, the knife dug itself in deeper, twisting viciously. He collapsed to the floor, a puppet with its strings cut. His arms and legs lay where they fell, oddly twisted and awkwardly positioned. Junpei's body was entirely numb. He could feel the blood leaking out from him, but nothing would move. Nothing save his eyes. As he lay on the floor, his life ebbing away, Junpei finally saw his attacker. 2 tiny images of a killer reflected in his eyes. With that recognition came nothing. He felt no emotions. Not anger, not sadness, not regret. The paralysis that had claimed his body reached his mind. His killer glanced down at his body. Who was it? Who was it? Show me. Then without a word climbed into the elevator and was gone. You're not gonna show me. His eyesight began to fade, the world grew blurry and began to dissolve into an empty white fog. The fog crept into the edges of his mind and worked inexorably inward. Soon it swallowed up the last that remained of Junpei's mind, and his consciousness left him. There was nothing more. Into utter emptiness he fell. Into 0. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. super bad end, man. Crap. Ugh. That sucks. You have reached one ending. This game has multiple endings. In order to experience all the endings, you need to play through the game multiple times. Make sure to save progress and retain. Memory of escape has been added to the title screen. Memory escape lets replay the escape rooms you have completed. Huh. What is this telling me? Locked? Unlocked. Bad end knife, yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. If there's anyone watching this, don't tell me. The questions I'm asking right now are kind of rhetorical. I'm gonna have to figure this out for myself. I'm thinking that maybe these lock things here, maybe it's something like you have to get something from this route here, and like if I had done this route here, then maybe I would have had something that I could have used here, and then on and on and on from there, that sort of thing. But of course, why is this here? This is like before we made a choice, right? Or is this indicating a choice? And there's a lock and a key symbol. What? Like, I didn't even get to make a choice here, so I must have been missing something. But yeah, this definitely, leading up to it, like, we ignored Snake's death, pretty much. Ignored the gun. Ignored the room. It definitely felt like I was going to a bad end. We're just in it, huh? Can I... What's the, I skipped a cutscene just now. Yeah. Okay, so I need to figure out, is there a button to...
What?
Yes, it's control.
A
No,
bed?
stop. How long have I been going? Okay, I'm gonna go till I get...
Damn, my eyesight's...
Oh, I can just click it. I want to see... Huh, is it...
Huh?
Okay, here's not a rhetorical question. Is there an easier... Like, I can't jump to... Or can I? Can I jump between chapters, essentially? Or is that not a good idea? I don't want to screw anything up. Like, it said you have to play the game multiple times. Does that actually mean that? Do I have to actually play through it multiple times in order to unlock stuff? Or, like, I don't know how much freedom I have. Oh, there, skip.
Why?
Like, how do I explain this? I don't want to miss anything new. Like, how do I word this correctly? Presumably, if I make the exact same decisions I made previously, I will see everything exactly the same, right? Or having beaten the game once, do things change? Like, that's not this kind of game, right? Wait.
My head.
Oh no, that was fine. That's supposed to be like that. I have to go look at the mirror. Okay, first I'm going to... Oh. Okay, yeah.
Should probably hold on. Huh. Oh, wow. I look like man. How did I left work? And
Oh wait. This. Yeah. Show me the thing real quick.
I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? A breeze. Huh. I must have.
Here. Did you see that? Did you see that symbol?
Who are?
Okay. Yeah. Skip. Put your life on the line. Okay.
Well,
Wait. See? Okay, so the fact that there are two symbols, do you think that means that 0 is 2 people? Do you think? And this is like, Junpei's a bit closer to the window, right? This is a shorter person, isn't it? Maybe if Junpei backs up a bit, they'll be around the same height. I'm gonna make a guess that 0 is 2 people. Just because there were 2 symbols next to that coffin, I'm gonna guess 0 is 2 people. I don't know. Maybe not.
You are going to participate in the game.
And I still feel like this could be like a woman's voice that's been garbled.
the nonary game. Huh.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do now. Yeah, I guess we have to, because the other saves don't have this. I guess we have to keep going. Huh. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. Yeah, I gotta think about some things. Ooh, memories of escape. Oh, these are the escape rooms. Okay. Oh man, so much to think about. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe June and Ace are 0 or something. That's like my first attempting to pick a culprit thing. June and Ace, those two. Because June's got a lot of weird knowledge and background of the ship, and she's has all the knowledge of those. What are they? Alchemical? No, not alchemical. Not astronomy. What are those? Astrological. All the astrological stuff. And Ace has just been acting. She's had these weird reactions the whole game. I don't know. Plus, it would suck if June's the bad guy and, you know, Junpei's been wanting to protect her and be with her this whole time. But I feel like there was a huge hint at the end there, and I'm frustrated because I feel like I'm not smart enough to get it. Like it said, okay, they needed 8. And I feel like that's a huge hint. And I might, next time when I start again, I might play with the calculator a bit. Someone needs 8. See, I was under the assumption when Zero said that they deactivate, I thought that meant they deactivate that. And I thought that specifically meant you could not use a dead person's wristband. But that last scene seemed to be insinuating that you could use a dead person's bracelet for a red. That's what it seemed like. Did Snake still have his bracelet with him? I can't remember. I didn't, and I don't think I wrote down anything about that. Dang it. This is the thing where it's like, I'm sure there are people that have played this game and got to this point, and they nailed it, you know? They were able to guess it immediately, and I get frustrated because it's like, well, I'm not able to, you know? Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to write some notes. I'm gonna have to think about it. This is gonna bother me for quite some time. And of course they weren't gonna show us the killer at the end. Of course not. In terms of actual questions, a lot of the stuff I've been asking, sort of ruminating on, it's kind of, I mean that to be rhetorical at times, but if I'm going to reiterate that one question I had, which is there a kind of more efficient way to go through the game, or am I expected to do full playthroughs again, you know, like skipping through? So that is a question I would like an answer to, if anyone would be willing to give me an answer. Because I don't want to, you know, waste my time or your time. That's the thing. Yeah. Okay. They needed 8. They needed 8. And needed 8 for what? To just go through 9? Okay. Yeah, I'll play with the calculator a bit next time. See what I can find out. In any case, I've been the Worm. This has been 999. We've reached the first ending, and it was a bad one, unfortunately. Next time we will, I guess, start down a new path. And I'm a bit intimidated by what all those different locked and unlocked symbols mean, and whether or not that means I'm eventually going to have to find the perfect order of, you know, choices. So this could take a long time if it is as I fear it might be. But we'll see. We'll see. Hope you're all having a good one. See you next time.